Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. I'm Courtney, and if you don't know me already, I'm a professional makeup artist, eyelash technician and spray tan artist. I create makeup tutorials, eyeshadow tutorials, special effects tutorials and all that sort of content. So if you don't want to miss any of those videos, make sure to click the button down below to subscribe so you never miss any of my videos. Now in today's video, as you can see, I'm going to be creating this stunning, cool tone glam, sparkly, all day long wearing Ascot Glam. Perfect for Ascot races that is just coming up around the corner. This makeup is designed to beat the heat and be long lasting so that you can wear it from morning till night, have a few drinks, get a sweat on, and it's not going to move anywhere. So to start, I always put my skin prep on first. So I'm just about to put my moisturiser on and my primers to have them really sit and soak into my skin, ready for when I apply my base. When you're attending Ascot, it's really important to prep your base. If you're not prepping your base, moisturising your skin and applying the correct products for the climate, your makeup is just going to slip throughout the day, and you are really going to want those products to last for a long time. If you are going to be sitting in the sun, watching the races, having a nice drink with your friends, you're going to want to prep your skin the correct way. So first, I'm just going in with the Ordinary moisturiser. This one is just really nice, it's really gentle. So I'm literally just going to put a blob of that on the back of my hand and work that into my skin. If you have skin like me, where you are spot prone, I have a lot of these nasty under the skin spots. You really need to moisturise so that your makeup doesn't cling to any of those dry areas. Now I'm going to go in with quite a few different priming products just because I really want to build up my base. So I'm going to go in with the Prep and Perfect Vitamin Enriched Moisturising Primer from Primark and the Prep and Perfect Glow Cream Illuminating Primer. These are a really good combination because the moisturising primer is very, very thick, so it keeps your skin hydrated for longer, and the Glow Cream Illuminating Primer is quite glowy, so it's going to give you that glow from within look without being wet. So I'm just going to be using my Vitamin Enriched Moisturiser, and you literally barely need any of this. You just need enough to just moisten up your skin, get it really nice and moisturized. As I said, you need the skin to be really moisturized, so if you have any pimples or dry areas, that your makeup is not going to cling to those areas, especially because I'm going to be using a matte foundation today. I'm then going to take the illuminating primer from Primark onto the back of my hand. You probably only need about that much, and I'm just going to work that all over my skin, just to make sure we have that really glowy base. Now I like this, it's a dupe for the MAC Strobe Cream. It's nice and glittery, but it's not got thick glitters to it, it's more like tiny micas. Now I always start with my brows. A lot of people like to do their brows last, but I like to do my brows first. So I'm just going to be using the Primark brow pencil in dark brown. What I like to do is I like to go gently over the bottom of my brow, then over the top of my brow, just to like get a nice shape like that. And then I'll just roughly fill in with a very light hand because this product is very pigmented. Once you've done that, you want to take the spoolie end of the product and you want to work upwards from the front of the brow, and then you just basically brush up through the entire brow just to even out the product so it's not so blocky and it creates a natural brow look. And then once I've done that, I like to go in with my Got2b glue. So once I've done that, I get my Got2b glue and then I just put a little bit on the back of my hand and use the end of a spoolie, pick some of that up onto the brush, and then you literally just brush up through the brow to coat the brow hairs in the Got2b glue, and then you just go over the top and the bottom just to brush the brow hairs into shape. So now my brows are done, I always do my eyes first. So for Ascot, you want something that's a little bit glam, that's a little bit bougie, but not too heavy as it will be hot. So you don't want your eyeshadows creasing or slipping. So you want to make sure that whatever you do isn't too heavy, isn't too much on the eye, but you can go full with it as long as you're using the right products underneath. I really love a really good full coverage concealer underneath the eyeshadow. I find that it blocks out any discoloration on the eyes, and it also creates a really nice tacky base for the eyeshadows to stick to. So to start, I'm going in with my LA Colours Ultimate Cover Concealer in Ivory, and I'm just going to place a little bit of that onto my eyelid. As I said, you want a really nice full coverage base for your eyeshadow to stick to. And then I'm just going to use a flat brush and blend that across the entire lid to make sure everything is covered and there's a really nice base. And this is where you want to sculpt the underneath of your brow. And this will help you to neaten up the base of the brow and create a really nice brow shape. And then what I'm going to do is take my Cocoa Cosmetics by Chloe sponge, and I'm just going to tap that in across the lid just to even that concealer out and make sure there's no areas that are really clogged up with concealer. And bring that in between my brows slightly. I'm then going to go in with my cream contour product, which is the Laguna Cream Bronzer by NARS. And I'm just going to tap into that really gently, barely picking up anything in the brush, then tapping off the excess into the lid. And I'm just going to drag that straight through my lid just to get a natural contour to the eye created. I'm just dragging that out towards the temple as well to elongate the shape of my eye. And I'm also bringing that inwards slightly and down the nose. So the look we're going to be creating is kind of like a heavier soft glam. So I'm just going to take this angled brush and I'm going to be going into this colour here, which is a dark burgundy shade. It's not very warm tone, but it will still give you that warmth that you need. And I'm going to tap that right along the lash line and almost as if I was going to create a fake wing shape. And then stop just where your eyebrow comes to. And only go halfway into your eye. See where I've stopped just above my pupil? I'm then going to go in with a more neutral brown tone just to blend that out into the crease. So go halfway over that colour and halfway onto the lid. And then bring that upwards slightly so it starts to come through the lid as well. Almost like you're doing a C shape, backwards C shape. And that's going to create a really nice depth in the outer corner of the eye as well, because we're trying to elongate the eye shape like this. See how nice that looks already? And then just keep building that up with the same colour until you're satisfied with the amount of pigment that you've laid down. So now we've got this kind of nice shape that we're starting to build. We're then going to go back in with that original burgundy shade to build up some more depth in that outer corner. And we're also going to bring that upward slightly into that C shape that we began to create with that neutral brown shade. And join that up in the outer corner so it almost looks like that V shape is building in the outer corner. And then to go in between those two shades, the burgundy and the neutral brown, we're going to go in with a lighter tone burgundy shade, but very gently because we don't want to apply too much pigment in this area. And I'm just going to do almost circular motions just to assist in blending that shade down and up into the crease. And outwards. I'm then going to go back into just this whiter shade here and pack that right up underneath the brow bone to help blend that burgundy shade a little bit more into the neutral skin tone. You're then going to go into a warmer but not very warm tone brown shade, quite a deep shade, almost like a hot chocolate shade. And we're just going to blend that throughout that crease to deepen the outer corner, but we're going to avoid the burgundy tones now because we want to build depth, but we don't want it to go too pink or too purple. I've just got another mirror here as well, just so I can see clearly what I'm doing. So now we've laid that base shape down, you just want to take a makeup wipe and just shimmy like so. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in with a slightly more nudie bone tone shade. And I'm going to pack that directly into the inner half of the eye, just to brighten the inner half, because we want to open up the eye shape a little bit more. And then once you've done that, you want to pick a really beautiful, almost champagne colour. This one's called Cover in the Earthy palette by Beauty Bay. And I'm literally going to use my finger and I'm going to go directly into that shade, just like so. And I'm going to place that directly onto the eyelid. These eyeshadows are just literally stunning. You don't need to use a base for them at all. And I've just brought that inward slightly, and whatever was left on the finger, I've tapped it slightly up towards the brow bone, so it creates that really stunning glittery look. Now you don't have to do this, but I like to do this. I go into a slightly lighter shimmery colour, tap off the excess, and just right in the corner there, I just blend over the edge of that, so that just gives that glittery look in the inner corner of the eye. And then I just bring that outward slightly into the brow bone, just so it creates that beautiful transition from glittery look to matte. Just to finish up the outer half of the eye, we're going back into that deep burgundy shade on a fluffy brush, and we're just going to lightly blend over the edge, just to create a seamless transition between the glitters and the depth of the outer corner. And you can be really light-handed with this as well, because it doesn't have to be neat. So I just did the other eye off camera, and as you can see, this is the most stunning, simple glam, but it's not too in your face. It's got the depth, but it's not too dark, and it's got that shimmer, but it's not too glittery. It's that perfect in between, where it gives you that glam, like bougie vibe, but it's not like, whoa, what are you wearing? I just think this look is absolutely stunning. I'm just gonna deepen this side up a little bit more, because I feel like this side's a little bit deeper. But what do you guys think? If you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to hit the notification bell down below and subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. So the most important part of your Ascot Races makeup is the base. You want the base to be snatched, you want the base to be perfect, you want it to last all day long. As you saw earlier in the video, we've already prepped and primed our skin with our primers and our moisturisers, but now onto products. I'm going to go in with the NARS Soft Matte Foundation in Mont Blanc. This product is a matte product, however you can use it in a more demi-matte way. And because this product is so pigmented, you really, and I will stress this, you really don't need a lot of this. It's an amazing product for oil control as well. So all my oily girlies out there, this is going to be perfect for you. Literally all you need is probably about that much. That's not even like half a pump of normal foundation. It is so pigmented and so full coverage, you barely need anything. So with all NARS products, they are designed to be applied with your hands, and I do agree with that this is the best way to apply the product. So I'm just going to get a little bit on my finger, and I'm going to start in my nose area, and I'm going to work that into my skin as if it was almost a moisturising product. And you can see already, just with that tiny amount, how full coverage that is on my nose. It's just completely erased any darkness, any depth, any pigmentation. And then I'm going to start working that down my face. See how little you need of this product. That small amount is already done, almost half my face. Now, I am not a full coverage gal, but this is a full coverage foundation, so I am using it in a more medium coverage way. But we will colour correct those scarring from my acne later on. Now this foundation is a little bit too dark for me, but with summer coming up, that's completely fine, because I probably will pick up a little bit of a tan, and by then I'm sure all you Ascot goers are going to be having spray tans. I do also offer spray tans, so if you do book with me, you can have a spray tan, lash extension and makeup appointment all in one go. However, I do recommend that if you do book a spray tan with me, you book it 24 hours before your occasion, just so you have enough time for the spray tan to develop overnight. You don't want to book a spray tan the day of your event, because it's just not going to work out for you. Now for those big evil spots that are on my face, we want to have coverage but not cake. Because as I said earlier on in the video, you're going to be sitting in the sun all day, you're going to be hot, you're going to be having a few bevs. You want to have a nice base that's not going to get too chunky and too creasy. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of my concealer onto those areas that are really red and really sore. I am a picker, so I am my own worst enemy when it comes to spots. If I didn't pick, I wouldn't have any spots, but I pick, so I have loads of spots. And I'm just going to blend that out with my sponge, just to blend that evenly into the base. Now, as I said, I like a little bit of more medium coverage, so I'm not going to apply too much on these spots. And I also find that sometimes when you're applying products onto spots to conceal them, you end up making them stand out more. So less is more when it comes to spot coverage. So we have our flawless base, our spots are fully concealed, we're looking nice and flat. We need to bring some warmth back into the situation because yes, we're going to be sitting in the sun getting a tan all day at Ascot, but we want to look bronzed, especially if you have a spray tan. You don't want your face and your body to be completely different. So we want to warm up the face a little bit. My top tip for being in the sun, especially in these hot, humid events such as Ascot, you want to layer cream products underneath powders. We're going to put a bit of cream bronzer on, cream blush. So I'm just going to be using a little bit of my Laguna bronzer and I'm barely tapping into it. And I'm going to tap the excess off into the lid because with cream products, you want to work up in small layers. You don't want to apply too much because you can always add, but you cannot remove. So I'm just going to warm up my face slightly. And for the bronzer, you want to add this in every area that you would normally get tanned. So you want to do the cheekbone, the forehead, the nose, and sometimes if you are a little bit more pale, you can do a little bit across the chest just to even out your tan. But I'm just going to do areas on my face. So you want to kind of lift your cheekbone and you want to work from the top of the ear to where the edge of your eye is. And that creates that most natural bronzed shape. And you want to kind of use tapping motions. You don't want to do swiping because that's going to move all of the products that you've got underneath. And then with the forehead, you want to be super careful because the worst thing you want to do is make your forehead look really small or make it look really big. So rather than applying it on my brush, at this point, I'm just going to use my hands and I'm just going to dot a little bit in those areas because I really don't need a lot. And whatever's left on my brush will help blend that in. And we're just going to do a little bit more circly motions with this one because we want to blend it up into the hairline. So for the nose, we're going to be going in with that brush we used to apply the cream bronzer onto the eyes. And we're just going to pick up a small amount and we're going to create a really nice snatched nose shape by going up the edge of the nose, under the tip of the nose, and back up the other side. And you want to join that in with the eyeshadow look at the top. And you want to be quite light-handed with this because you don't want to disturb any of the foundation on your nose underneath. So we've got our cream bronzer, we've got our foundation, now we've got to do cream blush and then concealer. So with this neutral purpley toned makeup, I'm going to be using Very Berry by Mama Mitchell. Mama Mitchell? I think I said that right. Mama Mitchell. This is one of my favourite blush colours. When I got this, I was like, hell no, I'm going to hate that. But actually it's stunning because it is that more cool tone look. It looks very scary when you apply it, but I promise when you blend it out, it's just stunning. It gives you that warmth. I say warmth even though it's cool tone because it does give you warmth without being really harsh, especially because I'm a more cool toned, neutral skinned person. This just works a lot better for me than the average bright pink or the more corally pink blushes. I just love this so much. It's going to give you that warmth you need, but it's not going to make you look sunburned and too hot and flushed. I always do cream blush first and then concealer second because sometimes I go too heavy with my cream blush and then I can take that heaviness away with my concealer afterwards. And I'm just going back in with that concealer. This is such a high coverage concealer, you really need a really small amount. One of my top tips as a pro makeup artist is to focus the concealer in the darkest part of the eye, blend that out with your finger so it's fully blended in that area, bring it down the edge of the nose and then outwards. Whatever's left, bring it outwards. Don't do these triangles that people are doing because you're just going to load your face with way too much product. Look how full coverage that is with the minimal amount of product used. This is going to be one of the ways that you're going to brighten your under eye area and erase any depth without getting cakey throughout the day, which, as I said earlier on, is really important for hot events such as Ascot or prom. You want to make sure you're not creasing throughout the day. Now for powders, I'm going to be using the MERCIER translucent setting powder. So I'm just going to tap very gently into the lid like that and tap off the excess. And then what I'm going to do in the palm of my hand is just remove the excess product from the brush and push the pigment into the brush. And then I'm going to look up and I'm going to lightly set underneath the eye. If you're a very, very oily person, I would use a powder puff on you. That's just to make sure everything's locked in place and that none of your products are going to move throughout the day. See how smooth and snatched and creaseless my under eyes look? That is what you want and what you need for the Ascot race day. So now we've got the T-zone and underneath the eye set, I'm going to be going in with my NARS Soft Matte Advanced Perfecting Powder in COVE. This is a little bit too dark for me, but it's really nice to set the rest of the face because it is a matte product. It is going to keep all those oils at bay so that throughout the day you're not going to crease at all and you're not going to look oily and slick. We want that perfect balance between set and cakey. You don't want to go cakey, but you don't want to not be set. So I'm going to be using Laguna, and I'm going to use this just to warm up my face. And with powders over creams, I tend to tap. If you're going to be doing swipey or swirly motions, it's just going to disturb all the cream products underneath your powders. So I would recommend always tapping your powder products on top of your creams if you want that flawless, seamless base. Once again, hitting all those areas where you would naturally be bronzed. And then I'm just using a small brush just to do the exact same thing we did on my nose with the cream bronzer with the powder Laguna, just to help shape the nose. So at this point, if you wanted a matte blush, I would apply it now, but because I like a shimmery blush, I'm going to set my face with some setting powder and then I'm going to come back and apply the shimmery blush. So for setting spray, I'm going to be using the Up All Night Makeup Setting Spray by Primark. This is the Urban Decay Dupe. I'm all about finding affordable dupes. I do find that sometimes these smaller brands are taking the absolute out of these larger brands, but if I can save some money, I'm going to be saving some money. So I'm just going to absolutely drench my face because we want everything to be set all day long. So now we've absolutely drenched our face in setting spray to lock everything in place throughout the day. I'm going to be going in with my Kiko All About Coral Radiant Baked Blush. This is a really beautiful blush that has a slight shimmer to it and it gives you that really nice glow from within. And I'm just going to go over the places that I've applied that cream blush just to give more of a glowy, dewy look. Because our base is matte, we still want to have that radiant glow without looking wet. You can do a little bit more swirly motions with the blush, but I would still recommend doing the tapping motion just in case you do accidentally end up removing those cream products below. I like to go quite high up on the cheekbone to give that really lifted look. And then I'm going to go a little bit on the nose and a little bit on the forehead just to give that really nice sun-kissed look. Now for highlighter, I have to say Primark has some of the best highlighters I have ever used. As a pro makeup artist, I'm always looking for affordable products out there that I can use in my kit that are easy to replace. So this is a really beautiful gold toned highlighter, and I'm just going to apply that on all the areas I want to have a little bit of radiance and a little bit of lift. Across all of my cheekbones. Look at that, absolutely stunning. You also want to use an angled brush just to apply that in the brow bone area as well. So that's the highlighter done, and now we basically want to mirror the upper eyeshadow onto the lower lid. So I am going to do that for you to show you how to create that snatched under eye area. If you don't want to do the under eye area, just clean this line up quite sharp with concealer and just put a little bit of mascara underneath. But I do like to put eyeshadow on the underneath of the lid as well, because then if you have any creasing in that area, if you have very creasy under eyes like me, it gets hidden within the depth of the eyeshadow. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in with that burgundy depth shade, and we're going to apply that directly in the outer corner of the eye. I'm bringing that in towards the middle of the eye, just to line that up with the upper lid. And we're then going to go in with that cool toned brown shade, and we're going to go directly over the edge of that just to blow out that depth. And you can be quite messy with this because we want to really blow out that darker shade and bring that outwards into the temple as well. We're then going to go into the COVE shade, and we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to look up and we're going to place that into the inner half of the eye and bring that into the middle of the eye to blend it into the depth. And you can place a small amount of that into the inner half of the eye as well. And with a small brush, you want to go into this lighter shade that we used earlier to blend out the inner half of the upper lid. And we want to apply a lot of that into the inner corner of the eyes. Now this eye is done in terms of eyeshadow, I'm just going to go off camera and do this, and then I'll be back. So I've done my left and my right eye on the underneath, and as I've said before, I'm so excited to recreate this look on some of my Ascot clients. Now if you do book with me, you don't have to have this look specifically done. I can tailor your look specifically to your wants and needs. I'm just going to pop a cream eyeliner into the waterline just to open up and brighten the eyes more, and it gives you a more awake look. So I'm just going to pop that directly into the waterline, and it helps to open up the eye shape a lot more. Moving on to lips, a lot of women love a really nude lip. I'm going to go with the NYX lip liner in Global Citizen and overline my lips slightly to give them a more plump appearance. And now the lip liner is done, I'm going to be going in with the NARS Barbara Audacious lipstick. It's a really lovely cool toned pink lipstick, and it will tie the whole look together. It's just such a stunning look. You wouldn't expect it to look lovely, but when they blend together, I love it. And just to add a little bit of gloss to the lip, because I know some of you out there love a glossy lip, you can leave it matte if you like, but I do prefer a glossy lip. I'm just going to be going in with the NYX Butter Gloss in Madeleine or Madeline, I'm not too sure how you say it. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of that into the centre of the lip. And that just gives it that really lovely glossy lip look. Now, being a lash tech, I do not enjoy curling your lashes because I have seen firsthand the damage lash curlers can do to your lashes. So I'm just going to go in directly with my mascara, and my favourite mascara at the moment is the Rimmel Thrill Seeker mascara. This mascara is absolutely amazing. Or if you want a waterproof alternative that's going to last you all day if you have very oily skin, the Revolution, I'm not too sure, it's the Revolution sister brand. The Power Lash Waterproof Mascara is an insane, full, all day long, no smudge, no budge, very, very good mascara. 100% recommend this if you have oily lids. So I'm just going to apply a coat of this to my eyelashes because I am going to be applying lashes. You don't need to apply too much, but you want to apply enough for your lashes to sit nicely on top of them. And you want to get a really nice even coat from a root to tip. And you also want to apply it on your bottom lashes. I'm just going to look upwards so I don't get any on my bottom lash line. And for example, if you do get the odd little bit onto your actual lid, wait for it to dry and flick it off with a clean spoolie. You don't want to touch it whilst it's wet. Now for lashes, you want something that's going to be bold but not take away from your look. You want something that's fluttery, full and wispy. So I've got a couple of strip lashes here that I would recommend. The Pink Fishes Iconic Lash, if you want something that's very similar to a Russian lash look. The Pink Fishes Bish Please. These are very similar to Russians, but they're a little bit fuller. And the Pink Fishes Material Girl. These are personally my favourite. They're a little bit more fluffy. They're less Russian looking. But in terms of the styles, these are very good for an Ascot recommendation. Now I am going in with my Pink Fishes in the Material Girl. So a top trick to get your lashes lasting all day is to do a very thin line of the glue on your lash line and a very thin line of the glue on your lashes. Let them set a little bit and then they stick together really easily. So I'm just going to do a slight line of the Pink Fishes lash glue onto my lash line. Very, very thin line, just like so. Just dot it along the lash line. And that'll just give the lashes something to grip to. And then I'm just going to pull my lashes off the strip lash, I haven't had to cut these down, but if you do need to cut them down, you can. And I'm just applying the glue along the lash line. And then what I like to do is I like to grab the lashes and twist them slightly so that they almost set into a curve shape, so that when you stick them on your eye, they are nice and curved. Now I'm just going to place that onto my lash line, like so, and that will stick in place straight away. Just going to adjust the inner corner. If you struggle with the inner corners, that is okay. I'm a professional and I still struggle. And then squeeze your lash line and your lashes together. If I was doing this on a client, I would use tweezers, but because it's on myself, I will just use my hands. Alternatively, you can get your client to squeeze them together for you. So there we have it, guys. The final Ascot Cool Toned Glam, perfect skin, perfect base, sweat proof, all day long wearing glam. If you like the video, make sure to subscribe down below and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. Also, make sure to go down below and check the description out and follow me on all my social medias. They will be linked down below. And that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you really enjoyed my videos, as I said, make sure to hit the subscription button down below so you don't miss any of my content. I create makeup videos, eyelash videos, and all that sort of content. If you want to request any specific looks, make sure to comment them down below and I will try and get around to that for you. And I will see you in my next video.